students, welcome back to the new session of our science lesson number 9, the adaptations of organisms, living organisms, characteristics and their habitats. Previous class I had explained some of the characteristics of living organisms, how they will reproduce and how they are respond to stimuli, how they will excrete, etc. Today we will continue that reproduction in the case of plants in different ways. From the seed, the new plants will arise. You can see on the screen the pictures are given. A seedling is coming out from the seeds when it will germinate, and within few days the seed will grow into a plant, and the roots will go under the soil and the stem holding the leaves and branches. Now take a cutting from a rose or a mehendi plant and fix it in the soil and water it regularly and observe it whether it will grow or not. Sometimes it will grow, sometimes due to some reasons it may not grow, but generally if you will water it properly and getting sunlight and air, it will grow. So in case if it is not growing, you take the advice of a gardener and do it that way, then the plant will arise. So we can say that living things produce more of their own kind through reproduction. It takes place in many different ways in different organisms. So in organisms or the living beings, the reproduction in different ways. Do all living things move? Next question. Next feature is locomotion or movement. In chapter 8, previous lesson, body movements, you had already studied various movements, how the animals move, how the locomotion takes place in different organisms in detail. They move from one place to another and also show other body movements also. Now we will talk about the plants in this lesson. Do they also move or not? Had you seen any plant is moving? No, it is plants are generally anchored in soil, so they do not move from one place to another. However, various substances like water, minerals and the food materials synthesized by them moves from one part of the plant to other part through some particular vessels called xylem and phloem. Xylem is carrying the water and the minerals from the soil to the leaves, and the phloem is carrying the prepared food from the leaves to various parts of the plant. Have you noticed any kind of movement in plants, that is opening and closing of the flowers, blossoming and closing? Last class I had already told about the water lily or the lotus respond to stimuli. So there it will be blossoming. Lotus will be blossoms during the daytime when the sunrise is there, and during sunset it will bloom or it will close its petals, and just reverse is water lily. During the night time when the moon will be rising on the sky, it will blossom, and daytime it will close its petals. Now we are also have some non-living things are also moving. For example, you are coming to school or going to any shopping, etc. How you will go? By the bus or the car or auto or scooter, like that. You are going for tuition classes nearby your house by cycle, etc. So they are all moving. So a small piece of paper, if it will fly, it will move. So can you say they are all living beings? No, they are all non-living things, but due to some energy it will move. For example, the vehicles, car, bus or rickshaw, scooter, etc., they are using the petrol or diesel or CNG gas, and the energy is producing and the vehicle is moving. But they are all man-made materials, they are non-living things. Yet another common characteristic is that living beings die. So if we will talk about the growth, all the living beings will grow and they become adult or big. When they mature, they reproduce their own kind and they will perish or they will die. So that is the next feature or characteristics of living beings. They will perish or they will die. So it is also one particular characteristic. There is such a variety of living organisms, but all of them show some common characteristics as we have discussed. So there are variety of organisms living in this world, but all of them show some common characteristics. Which are the common characteristics we had studied now? Living beings respire, living beings grow, living beings need food, living beings show locomotion, and living beings respond to stimuli, living beings reproduce, and also they die. So these are the common characteristics of all the living organisms. But variations are there, but these are the common characteristics. Because organisms die, organism types can survive over thousands of years only if they produce their own kind. You had already studied dinosaurs or dragons. They are not seen nowadays. They are, once upon a time they were lived on this earth, and due to some natural calamities or due to some other reasons, their life is completely vanished from the earth. Now only some fossils, skeleton is seen digging from the earth, and the scientists already, those who are studying about the fossils, geologists, they had already studied that this type of animals were lived on the earth once upon a time, and due to some or the other reasons they had completely eradicated or extinct from this earth. So if we want to get the organism continue on the earth, they have to reproduce their own kind. So we see that all living organisms seem to have common characteristics. They need food, they respire, respond to stimuli, reproduce, show movement, grow, and die. Now, those just now I told, car, bus, or scooter, clouds, paper, all these are moving. Ship, boat, all these are moving, but can we call them as living things? No, because they don't have the life. They don't have these all characteristics. In general, something that is living may have all the characteristics that we have discussed, while non-living things may not show all these characteristics at the same time. Some characteristics, for example, car or bus we will take, they need fuel and they can move with the help of the engine. When the fuel is over or the engine will switch off, it will stop. So we cannot say that bus or car is a living organism. So now we can ask the question, do we always find the living beings definitely show all the characteristics of living things that we have discussed? So most of the characteristics which we have discussed is common to all the living organisms except the locomotion. In the case of animals, locomotion is there, but in the case of plants, locomotion is not there. Now, we can say what then is life? What we call it as life? What we will call life? There is some heat being produced inside the sack of wheat. The seeds respire and in that process give out some heat. So if we will push your hand deep inside the sack of wheat sack, you put your hand inside, you feel very hot. So why your hand become hot? Because there is some heat being produced inside the sack of wheat. The seeds respire. If you will keep all the seeds together, they start respiring because they have the life, and in this process give out some heat. We see the respiration is a process that takes place in seeds even when some of the other life processes may not have active. So in the case of seeds, all the process, they are not taking the food. They are not responding to the stimuli, but they are also showing some characteristics of the living organism. That is, main thing is respiring. So heat energy is producing. So if we will put our hand inside the sack containing the wheat or any other food grain or the pulses, we feel hot. It may not be very easy to answer our question, what then is life? Anyhow, there is a lot of factors which is responsible for life. So we can say it is life. There is a diversity of living beings around us. We can conclude that life is beautiful. Life is there. We can see different organisms, different plants or trees, from very small organism to very huge elephant, like that we have seen, but they are also having the life. So just a summary, we can just say what you had studied today, the lesson. The main points one time I will revise. The surroundings where plants and animals live is called the habitat. Previously also you had studied what is habitat. Habitat means the place where the animals will live. The surroundings where the plants or the animals live is called its habitat. Already you had studied there are different habitats: terrestrial habitat, aquatic habitat, etc. Polar habitat, desert habitat, etc. Several kinds of plants and animals may share the same habitat. In one habitat, if you will take aquatic habitat, water, there are different types of animals. Some are very big ones, some are very small ones, some are plants, some are shell animals, etc. So, various kinds of plants and animals may share the same habitat. If you will take terrestrial habitat or a forest habitat, there are very small grass we can see, non-flowering plants we can see, creepers we can see, bushes, thorny bushes. Then we can also see tall trees, big trees also we can see it. Then same time we can see very small insects, ants, then bugs, honeybees, etc. Different types of butterflies, other insects, etc. Along with that, you can see some herbivorous animals, carnivorous animals, some reptiles like snake or lizard, all these things, frogs, amphibians, some birds, and including monkeys, then giraffe or elephant, all these mammals also we can see. So, variety of animals and plants can share in the same habitat. The presence of specific features and habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in a particular habitat is called adaptation. How the particular animal or a particular plant is adapted to live in a particular place or a habitat is called adaptations. For a particular habitat, they have adapted to live in that situation. So the specific features and habits which is formed in each animal or a plant to live and survive in that particular habitat is called its adaptation. Example, the fishes are adapted to live in water. Polar bears are adapted to live in polar or very cold region. Birds are adapted to live in the sky or in the air. So this way we can say they are adapted to live in that particular habitat. There are many types of habitats. However, these may be broadly grouped as terrestrial, that means on the land, and aquatic, in water. Terrestrial itself we can divide it into various categories. Already you had studied in detail. They are forest habitat, polar region habitat, mountain region habitat, grassland, desert, etc. And water, whether it will be salt water or fresh water, etc. They are all aquatic habitats. There is a wide variety of organisms present in different habitats. So, in each habitat, different variety of organisms are present. It may be plants, animals, and microorganisms. Together constitute biotic components. Each habitat consists of two groups or two factors or two components. They are biotic and abiotic, both together called as one habitat. Biotic habitat consists of plants, animals, and microorganisms. And abiotic habitat consists of rocks, soil, water, air, sunlight, temperature, etc. Living things have certain common characteristics. Which are the common characteristics of all living organisms? Living organisms respire, they need food, they grow, they respond to stimuli, they reproduce, then they die also, they excrete, they die, etc. They show movement also. In the case of movement or locomotion, only slight difference is there. Plants are not able to move from one place to another place, but all animals are able to move from place to place. Other all characteristics are same in plants and animals. So students, along with that, today the lesson is completing, lesson number 9. The whole lesson I had divided into different parts and I had explained part by part. Go through all the videos and try to understand and read the lesson. Coming days you will get the notes also. So today I am going to wind up my lesson. We will meet again in the next lesson. Till then, goodbye.